In the heart of the Finnish winter, where the land is blanketed in endless snow and the forests stand dark and silent, a legend was born. The sun barely rises above the horizon for a few precious hours, and the air is so cold it seems to freeze time itself. Here in this harsh and unforgiving landscape, the story of Simo Häyhä begins, a story that would echo through military history for generations to come. The year was 1939. The world watched as the Soviet Union, wielding one of the largest armies on Earth, cast its shadow over tiny Finland. The Soviets, confident in their overwhelming numbers and firepower, believed their victory would be swift and decisive. Their tanks and troops rolled across the border, expecting to crush the Finnish defenders in a matter of weeks. Yet, amid the chaos and violence of the Winter War, a single figure would emerge from the snow, a quiet farmer whose name would strike fear into the hearts of the invading Red Army. That man was Simo Häyhä. To the Soviets, he would become known as Belaya Smert, the White Death. In just over 3 months, he would claim more than 500 lives, becoming the most lethal sniper the world has ever known. But before he was a legend, before he was a soldier, Simo Häyhä was simply a farmer, living a quiet life in the Finnish countryside. Born in 1905 in the small village of Rautjärvi, Simo grew up surrounded by the beauty and brutality of nature. He was one of 8 children, raised on a modest farm where hard work and self-reliance were not just virtues, but necessities. From an early age, Simo learned to hunt in the dense forests that bordered his home. The skills he developed, patience, precision, and an intimate understanding of the land, would one day serve him well in a very different kind of hunt. As a teenager, Simo's talent with a rifle became apparent. He entered local shooting competitions, consistently outperforming men twice his age. Yet, despite his growing reputation, he remained humble, never boasting about his abilities. After completing his mandatory military service, Simo returned to the farm, content with a simple life of hunting, working the land, and caring for his family. But history is rarely content to leave such people in peace. By the late 1930s, tensions between Finland and the Soviet Union had reached a boiling point. The world was on the brink of war, and Simo Häyhä, like so many others, was called upon to defend his homeland. At the age of 34, he joined the 34th Infantry Regiment, leaving behind his quiet life for the uncertainty of battle. On November 30th, 1939, the Soviet Union launched its invasion. Over 450,000 troops surged across the Finnish border, supported by thousands of tanks and aircraft. The Finnish defenders were outnumbered, outgunned, and seemingly outmatched. Soviet leaders boasted that the war would be over in 2 weeks. But they had underestimated the resolve of the Finnish people and the skill of soldiers like Simo Häyhä. The Finns knew their land intimately. They used the forests and snow to their advantage, employing guerrilla tactics and innovative strategies to slow the Soviet advance. Among them, Simo Häyhä stood out, not for his rank or equipment, but for his extraordinary effectiveness as a sniper. Unlike most snipers of his era, Simo preferred to work alone. Dressed head to toe in white camouflage, he would slip silently through the snow before dawn, finding a concealed position from which to watch and wait. His weapon was not a specialized sniper rifle, but a standard Finnish M28-30, an unassuming bolt-action rifle that, in his hands, became a tool of deadly precision. Simo rejected the use of telescopic sights, choosing instead to rely on iron sights. In the bitter cold, scopes could fog up or reflect sunlight, betraying a sniper's position. Iron sights allowed him to keep a lower profile, and he could aim just as accurately without the risk of giving himself away. To further conceal himself, Simo packed snow around his firing position and even into his mouth, preventing his breath from forming visible clouds in the frigid air. Day after day, Soviet soldiers fell to shots they never saw coming. The psychological impact was profound. The Red Army, unable to locate the source of the deadly fire, began to fear the very landscape itself. Rumors spread of a ghost in the snow, a phantom who could not be seen or stopped. Soviet officers refused to believe that one man could inflict such losses. Yet the evidence was undeniable. On his most lethal day, Simo Häyhä is said to have eliminated 25 enemy soldiers. As his reputation grew, so did the efforts to stop him. The Soviets dispatched counter-sniper teams, artillery barrages, and even special units equipped with white camouflage, all in a desperate attempt to silence the White Death. But Simo was always one step ahead. He changed positions frequently, never establishing a pattern, and used his deep knowledge of the terrain to vanish without a trace. Simo's success was not just a matter of marksmanship. It was a testament to his patience, discipline, and ability to endure unimaginable hardships. He would remain motionless for hours in temperatures that could kill an unprepared man. He moved through the snow with such care that he left no tracks, blending seamlessly into the winter landscape. Despite the violence and the legend that grew around him, Simo remained a humble and reserved man. Years later, when asked about his feelings during the war, he simply said, "I did what I was told to do, as well as I could." He did not revel in his role as a killer. He saw himself as a soldier, fulfilling his duty to his country. But even legends are not invincible. On March 6, 1940, during a fierce Soviet assault, Simo was struck by an explosive bullet to the face. The wound was catastrophic. Half his jaw was destroyed, and he was left for dead. Fellow soldiers believed he would not survive. Yet against all odds, Simo clung to life, slipping into a coma that lasted a week. Remarkably, he regained consciousness on March 13th, the very day the Winter War ended. Finland emerged from the conflict battered but unbowed. Though forced to cede territory to the Soviet Union, the Finns had preserved their independence, and at a staggering cost to their invaders. Over 25,000 Finnish soldiers lost their lives, but Soviet casualties exceeded 200,000. The Red Army's reputation was tarnished, its confidence shaken by the fierce resistance of a people fighting for their homeland. Simo Häyhä's recovery was long and arduous. He underwent 26 surgeries to reconstruct his shattered face, and the injury left him permanently disfigured. Yet, he bore his scars with quiet dignity. For his extraordinary service, he was promoted from corporal to second lieutenant, a rare honor, and awarded the Cross of Liberty, the Medal of Liberty, and the Cross of Kola Battle. After the war, Simo returned to his roots. He resumed his life as a farmer, hunting and raising dogs, and rarely speaking of his wartime experiences. When asked how he became such an effective sniper, his answer was characteristically modest: practice. He never sought fame or recognition, preferring the peace of the countryside to the spotlight of heroism. In the years that followed, Simo attended a few veterans events, but he remained a private man. He lived to the age of 96, passing away in 2002. His gravestone in Ruokolahti is simple, offering no hint of the legend who lies beneath it. Perhaps that is fitting for a man who never considered himself a hero. Yet, Simo Häyhä's legacy endures. His techniques are studied by snipers around the world, and his record, over 500 confirmed kills in less than 100 days, remains unmatched. Official Finnish records credit him with 259 kills by sniper rifle and 246 by submachine gun, but the true number may be even higher. Today, Finland boasts one of the world's most respected sniper training programs, a direct inheritance from the lessons of the Winter War and its most famous marksmen. The story of Simo Häyhä is a reminder that history is often shaped by ordinary people faced with extraordinary circumstances. He was not driven by hatred or a thirst for glory, but by a sense of duty, a commitment to protect his homeland and those he loved. In the depths of winter, when hope seemed lost, his skill and determination became a beacon for his fellow soldiers and a nightmare for his enemies. In Finland, the tale of the White Death is still told. Children learn of the farmer who became a legend, the man who fought not for fame, but for his country. His life is a testament to the power of resilience, humility, and quiet courage. As the sun sets over the snowy forests of Finland, the memory of Simo Häyhä endures, a silent sentinel, watching over the land he defended so fiercely. His story is not just one of war, but of the enduring spirit of a people, and the extraordinary deeds that can arise from the most unassuming of lives. Simo Häyhä once summed up his experience in 7 simple words. I did what I had to do. In those words lies the essence of the man, humble, dutiful, and unforgettable. His legend will live on as long as there are stories to be told, and as long as there are those who value courage, honor, and the quiet strength of the human spirit. If you enjoyed this historical journey, please support our channel by liking, subscribing, and sharing your thoughts in the comments. Don't miss our upcoming content.